Hello everyone, this is Daniel again, and today I'm going to be looking at my Nintendo 64 collection. Got this back in, I think, when did it come out? It came out in 96, pretty sure I got it in like 97. I first played a Nintendo 64 over at a neighbor's house, and loved it. I never, played a game with an analog stick before. The 4 controller ports. Still doing the cartridge thing, but at the time it didn't matter. I remember like trying to argue that it actually had better graphics than the PS1. Lost that argument pretty quick, but I remember. Back when I really wanted one, my dad asked if I wanted a PlayStation 1. And I said, no, I want Nintendo 64. And the reason I wanted Nintendo 64 is, okay, I don't got in labels, so here we go. This was probably, I'm pretty sure this was the first Nintendo 64 game I ever played. Star Fox 64. And this was the system seller to me. When I played this game, I knew I had to have the Nintendo 64. I remember, I think it cost about 150 bucks. At least back when I wanted it. I want to say it was 150 bucks. And I really wanted one. I made, you see like this in movies, like people drawing like a giant, like almost like a thermometer. And then they like color in how far they are to their goal. I think I only made it to like 30 bucks. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was Easter of 97. And came out, got my basket. And then behind the couch was the Nintendo 64. And my first game, okay, no, I just gotta, alright, there we go. Now I can see. My first game that I got was Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. This is when I was really getting into Star Wars. I saw Return of the Jedi and had to watch all the other two. Like went to Blockbuster or wherever we rented videos and got the other two. This was the first game I owned and played on my Nintendo 64. This is the original. Haven't had to buy a new one. Was pretty lucky about that. Never had to buy a new controller, which I'll get to in a second. But this game, with the first fight, it's the Battle of Hoth, and they would shoot their cables and trip the, what is it, the AT, I can't remember, I don't remember any of the name. But that was the first thing you had to do in that game, and I could not do it. Like, it was really weird because you'd be flying through, you had to fly pretty low, and then when it would give you a little message saying, fire the torpedo, or the harpoon or whatever. So you hit the button, and as soon as you hit that button, it would change the, you'd be first in like, first person flying the ship, and then as soon as you shot that thing, it would switch the camera on you into like this weird kind of to the side view, and it turns into like tank controls or something. And I remember it was Easter, and I played that shit. I could not get past the Battle of Hoth, and being a little dick that I was, I bitched and moaned and complained until finally, that very day, we went to Kmart and my parents bought me Star Fox 64. And I did play, when I first played Star Fox 64 over at my friend's house, he actually had the Rumble Pack, which the version I got didn't come with that. This controller is just, looking back, like now, at like, at controllers that I have, for my PS2 and everything. This is so kiddie looking, and but it's real lightweight. This was the first analog stick I ever had, and it was it was a blast to play. It's weird, but it was a blast to play. But that same day, I didn't actually buy this. My parents went ahead and bought a second controller. This piece of shit. It's called the Super Pad 64 Performance. And you can look at it. Let me take this off. Just like, look how much thicker it is than the official I remember I had a friend who had bigger hands than me, so I'd always make him use this. But really, anybody else, I would always get stuck with this because I always felt bad, like making people try to use this thing, and it sucks. I mean, this is a weird ass controller, but this is fucking balls. Super Mario 64. This is still my favorite Mario game. A lot of people say Galaxy was really good, but this was always my favorite. I actually did beat this game. Not a lot of I didn't really beat games a lot when I was a kid. But this was one I actually beat. Didn't get all 120 stars. I beat Rainbow Bowser. And, and I think the most I ever got was about 70 or so stars. Something like that. I think you had to have at least 64, 65 to actually beat the game. I only got up to like 70, maybe 72. But it just blew my world. Like, I didn't really play Super Mario World because I never had a Super Nintendo. So I played it over at friends, but basically, so I was jumping from Super Mario Brothers 3 to Super Mario 64. Huge jump, and it just blew me away when I was a kid. Another one, this was a game I had played over, obviously, another friend's house. That's how I learned about games and played new games, is through friends. And Wave Race 64, this might have actually been, I actually might have bought this at the same time I got Super Mario 64. And this game was a blast to play. It was just fun. Like, I'm not a racing fan, but this was before I had ever played Tony Hawk. So all of a sudden, like, you get points for doing tricks, and I always like to use like there was like a real skinny guy, like a skinny tan guy, and it was just fun. You just be riding waves, it would get choppy in certain levels. There was like a freaking dolphins, and you'd follow them, or there was a killer whale, and it would just jump out of nowhere and scare the hell out of me. It would scare the hell out of me when I was a kid. And of course, Mario Kart 64. Like I said, I'm not a racing fan, but when it comes to when it came to this system, out of my small collection of games, two of which were racing games, and I think it was just the combat. Just it made it more fun than just going around in circles. Like I said, I never had a Super Nintendo, so I never played Mario Kart. Like I said, blast to play. This is a great game. I used to play with my sister. This is like the one game that she would actually play, and it was a lot of fun. Hook up 3 or 4 controllers and just play with a bunch of people. It was a hoot. My favorite was always the rainbow stage, because it was so big and long. It was just so much fun, like getting in the lead and then having to hold it for like a full 3 laps. Next game, WrestleMania 2000. I had a wrestling game before this. It was WCW versus NWO World Tour, and there was actually another WCW game that everyone says is like the best. And I played it with a friend, and but I was always a huge WWF fan. I never liked WCW, and this game is awesome. It has a feature that I had never seen in a game to this point. The feature that it had was this wrestler creator thing, creator mode, and you could customize everything from the hair. You could put on glasses, clothes, and then you would customize every single move in their arsenal. It was just awesome. My favorite was I created this character, and you could also edit the. There was like 3 or 4 versions of each character in the game, and then you could go and edit those versions. I remember editing one of the Hardy Boys, the blonde one, Jeff. I remember at the time, like in the game, he was still like back when they were wearing like the black pants, and they dressed just alike. But then they started going like all like weird goth or whatever, and I remember creating a character creating a new look for him so that he looked more like in wrestling matches on TV. But my favorite character that I ever created on here, I think his name was like Jay or JJ or something weird, but he was the 5th member of D-Generation X. I gave him all that all the D-Generation X. His intro was the D-Generation X song. And his ultimate move, his special move, was, well, Tupac, or there was, not Tupac, there's a wrestler called Six Pac. No, there's Six Pac. They kind of went back and forth with his name. But he had a move, and he basically grabbed her head like this, then jump in the air, and then he'd land like this. Not into his crotch, but like onto the ground. So I made my character have that similar move, but it actually starts in a power bomb. So it picks him up like this, and then he like tosses him like this, grabs her head, and bam! And it was just so much fun playing that game. I played it. I want to say it might have been the game that I played the most, because there was no objective. You could make your own belts, and I would come up with little like storylines in my head, like with the Jeff Hardy thing. His brother would follow him out there, and so like during one match, I was kind of doing my own little commentary, like, oh, that's blah blah blah. But like he knocked out the guy, then I had Jeff jump out and then hit his brother Matt, and then get back in the ring and finish the match. And it was like, oh no, what has he done? He betrayed his brother. It was just, I was a kid, and it was a lot of fun. I was a huge wrestling fan at the time. Next game, don't know why I got this. I think my mom just got it for me, and it's Toy Story 2. Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. I don't know if that's the official name, but it's Toy Story 2 for the N64. And really, this game, the best way I can describe it is kind of like Super Mario 64. There wasn't like a hub world or anything, but each level, there was like about 5, 6, maybe even up to 8 tasks that you had to do in each one. You know, either collecting stuff, racing, all this little stuff that you do, and that's how you would, you know, once you completed all those, you move on to the next level. And I remember it being a pretty fun game. It wasn't, I mean, this is probably the game I played the least, but I at least got to like the 4th or 5th level before I stopped. And which brings me to perhaps the greatest game on the N64, GoldenEye 007. Is it 007 GoldenEye? Whatever. This was the shit. I watched my my aunt had just gotten remarried. Her stepson was he had a bunch of his friends over, and they were playing this game. You know, I didn't really know the guy, and I remember just kind of sitting in the kitchen watching them play it, and watching them get into the tank and running people over, and I was like kind of laughing. But you know, I didn't really know the guy, so I didn't really feel comfortable walking over and trying to. Plus, he didn't really seem like that type of guy. I didn't think he would let me play. So I had an N64. Next Christmas or birthday or whatever, this is what I asked for. And this game, like, I really can't. I can't really remember which game I played the most, but I'm pretty sure this is at least in the top 3. I was like 9 or 10 playing this game, and my parents never had a problem with it. I remember watching stuff on TV when like 2020, like, oh, did GoldenEye, you know, cause Columbine? And I was like, that game's fucking awesome though. Who cares? I just remember it being pretty hard, and I loved how there was like at least 3 or 4 different levels of difficulty, and the higher level of difficulty, like the more tasks you had to complete. And I remember I played the first level, that dam, and I just had no idea what to do, and I was just walking, and finally I came to a thing, I just kind of walked off. And I remember, and you know, and then I went to the next level. And I remember going to school the next day, I'm like, that game's pretty cool. I kind of just walked off a ledge, and you know, it let me go to the next one, not realizing that's actually what you're supposed to do. He was bungee jumping. But I beat this game. I never beat the very, very last level. It was like the Aztec temple or whatever. But you know, I mostly beat this game. But because this game was so awesome, I wanted to, you know, be able to do whatever I wanted. So I got a Game Shark. This is one and only time I ever got a Game Shark for a system. And you just pop it in, put it in, good to go. Go through, unlock what you want to unlock. You know, the big head cheat, paintball. I remember back in the day there was like rumors, and I don't know, maybe this is true, but I don't think it is. But there was hidden skins of like Bill Clinton, and there was even one of Monica Lewinsky, because you know that was real big back then around this time when I was playing the game. So that was like the rumor, like, oh, you can play as the president or in his whore, and I love this game. Blast to play. I gotta say it again. Blast to play. All these games are basically a blast to play, and when you fucking pop this motherfucker in like this, it's even more fun. There's like one level, you use like this nuke thing, and so like you're running through the level, and since I was invincible, like thanks to the Game Shark, like everything would be blown up, so I'd be shooting guys, and then like fire would come out and just blow them up, and you run around, and if you killed too many scientists, you would lose or whatever. But it was just a fun game. Dual wielding, yeah, you could dual wield everything, even the rocket launchers. How come that you can't do that in games nowadays? How come you can't dual wield AK-47s? I mean, it's fucking video games. Let's have some fun. That's really it. I can't think of any other games. I guess I never did get the expansion pack or whatever. I never got that, which supposedly made a lot of games look and run better. And of course, here's the infamous disk drive port, which never happened in America. Oh yeah, a game I had, I don't have it anymore, but I just got to bring it up because I was talking about this thing, was Pokemon Stadium. And with Pokemon Stadium, it came with this little, it was basically like the Super Game Boy that you plugged into the back, and you could put your, and it only worked on Pokemon games. I'll talk about that in a second. You put your Pokemon, I think it worked with yellow, and of course it worked with red and blue. So you could actually pull your Pokemon off of there. And I just remember my Pokemon not being strong enough at that point, so I would just use the Pokemon that were already in the game. They were all like automatically level 50. But what was cool, like I said, it was like a Super Game Boy, so you could actually play your Pokemon game on the big screen. But the weird thing is, you couldn't play any other games with it. It was only the Pokemon games, which I thought was really lame. That's my little collection. I maybe had a few other games here or there, but these were the main ones. These are the games I played the most, and I remember playing that Pokemon Snap. I played that over at my cousin's house. I don't even want to talk about that. Everything still works. Last time I hooked it up. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's not going to be as dark as the end of that other one, just because the fucking Nintendo 64, I had such a great experience with this system. Yeah, I do remember getting in trouble because I called Andros from, where is it? From Star Fox 64 Butthole. I remember getting in trouble and my mom making me, like, she took away the thing because I said butthole. But other than that, I had really no bad experience with this system.